Hey everyone. If you're anything like me, then clearing out your backlog can take years to accomplish, and I'm only talking about one game. Originally, I started Assassin's Creed Odyssey well over a year ago, and I actually dropped it off as other games released caught my attention. But recently, I decided to pick it back up where I left off, roughly 70 hours into the game. Now, as I approach the 120-hour mark, it seemed like as good a time as any to figure out where Assassin's Creed Odyssey should be in your backlog. Released on October 5th, 2018, Assassin's Creed Odyssey is set in ancient Greece, and this is a fantastic location for this style of game. The setting allows for large open fields and mountains to explore, cities to meet a wide array of characters, and large open seas to navigate. They managed to pick a setting that feels like it has a good amount of versatility, and while there's obviously lots of uninhabited areas to run through, there always seem to be something interesting not too far off in the distance. This setting also allows you to run through the streets of Athens or climb the highest mountaintops and enjoy the view, which can look quite amazing at times. Sometimes, taking that moment to enjoy the culture or the time can be worth the hike. The game has a lot of interesting aspects to it. From naval combat to stealth kills or simply attacking enemies head on, you can clear out the quests and camps however you desire, and you will be doing that over and over again. This game absolutely suffers from the stereotypical Ubisoft stigma. The amount of quests in the game will keep you occupied for ages, but it does start to feel quite repetitive. There is an extremely specific quest loop, and that's meet a character, have a cutscene, go to the spot on the map, kill the enemies, and return. While of course, there is some variety with escort quests, fetch quests, and investigative quests, but the main concept of meeting a character and doing their bidding is the core gameplay loop of every side quest. While at first it feels rather exciting exploring new areas, but as the game goes along, you'll run along the same dirt roads or fast travel to the same point over and over again. Now, there are interesting aspects to both the main and side quests, as there's a ton of characters to meet, simple decisions to make, areas to explore, and sights to see. If you're someone who gets caught up in the I wonder what's over there aspect to open worlds, then that curiosity can keep you captivated for quite a while as there's constantly new question marks on your compass to go and check out. The trek from one location to another can be long, especially if you haven't unlocked those close fast travel spots. But whether you're running, riding, or climbing, it all feels pretty decent. There's very few times over these past 100 hours that I found spots that I couldn't get past. Of course, running around is simple and can allow you to explore at your own pace. Collecting resources on the way or getting distracted by enemy camps are good ways to keep it from feeling like a boring long hike with no rewards, but it also allows you to get completely sidetracked and forget where you were going in the first place. Climbing and scaling walls, be it buildings or rocks, can be a little bit more frustrating. While yes, you can basically climb anything you can see, sometimes getting stuck because a ledge is just a bit out of reach can feel rather frustrating, but usually you're not in combat during those moments, so you can realign yourself and find a different path up. Being able to climb essentially every type of wall in the game does allow for a really good sense of freedom and some great stealth kills. Speaking of stealth kills, the combat in this game is quite fun. Throughout, you'll constantly find more weapons and armors to equip, and you'll also unlock new abilities to power up. To start, the base combat is pretty good. You have a light and heavy attack, along with a dodge and also a parry, but oddly enough, no shield. There is no general block button. I found myself almost never using the parry, and instead I would constantly use the dodge or roll to avoid getting hit. As for offense, it can be pretty satisfying and there's a good amount of different options. Using the bow can be extremely useful to attack from a distance, and along with the melee combat, the range combat also has multiple different abilities to unlock and level up. But the form of combat that gives the most joy and satisfaction is the stealth. Sending off your eagle companion, you can then mark all the foes within a compound and plan your route to take out everyone without being spotted. Moves like sneaking up on an enemy from behind, jumping down from above, surprising them from below, or shooting them with an arrow through a wall are all really fun to pull off. But the move that always gives me the most joy and the biggest laughs is just Sparta kicking someone off the side of a cliff or building. It's just always a good time. But with the variety of attacks mixed with the variety of weapons, there's a lot of different ways to take out your foes. Now, even though ground combat and exploration is the majority of the game, there is also a good amount of boating around. Exploring the open waters can be quite fun as you can set your course and listen to your crewmates sing, or you can engage in an epic fight as you set your enemies on fire and try to ram their ship in half. Throughout the game, you'll recruit more people for your ship and upgrade different aspects, which can help you survive because the naval combat is definitely more difficult and frustrating, as it can be easy to get turned around and suddenly surrounded. Knowing the different methods to regain health mid combat is key to survival, as sometimes it's not as simple as just boating away to safety. From ramming the opposing vessels to boarding their ship and taking them on in hand to hand combat, be sure to use every method the game provides. But between the combats, you'll travel from island to island exploring the open waters. The water itself looks really good. From still water like ponds to the waves of the open seas, the water and the physics of boating around look and feel pretty amazing. Controlling the ship is easy to perform and quickly becomes second nature. However, exploring on the boat does feel a bit more empty as there's less resources to scavenge as you go on a longer journey. Throughout the journey in your travels across ancient Greece, you'll meet a ton of characters, some recognizable, some not, some mythical, some not, but they all help make the world feel lived in. From the voice acting to the small decisions you get to make, it does help you feel like there's a bit more of a purpose to your quest, and the different wrinkles that the game throws in can help keep you on your toes. If you wish to kill every character possible and loot every treasure chest or pot on the ground, then go for it. But be careful, as there is a law system in play. Killing too many innocent people or stealing from people's homes can send mercenaries after you. These strong enemies have one goal, and that's to take you out. Now, they're typically stronger than your average enemy, but they can be disposed of. However, you better do it quick because if they join in a fight when you're already surrounded, then you can get outmatched pretty fast. You can even get stuck in a loop of killing a mercenary, which forces your bounty even higher, which sends another mercenary after you, and they just get stronger and stronger, forcing you to rethink your plans. Being able to stay anonymous and in the shadows will help avoid any unwanted attackers, but if you can't do that, then you might want to make sure you clear those bounties on you. The story of the game can be rather interesting, but it can also be difficult to follow. Not because it's overly complex, but because you might go 10 to 15 hours without moving the main story forward, which can make it difficult to remember the focus of the story. There's also a lot of different characters and cutscenes that you interact with, and some are going to make a bigger impact on you than others. This is one of the bigger issues with the amount of bloat in the game. From forgetting which character was which to long drawn out cutscenes, I found myself starting to skip the dialogue just to keep the game moving forward. And because of the stereotypical Ubisoft formula, I was able to do that because I would just have to read the quest line, set a waypoint, and off I went. It rarely mattered what the character said or what the cutscene was about because I got all the information I needed on my map. When a game is designed this way, it allows the players to cut corners, in this case, the dialogue. A 5-minute cutscene can be reduced to 2 or 3 phrases in the quest log. And when the game is as long as this, cutting down 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, can add up to a lot of save time. Is this the ideal way to play the game? No, of course not, but reducing the overall game time of a game that feels way too long might seem like a good idea to a lot of players. As for the game itself, I've been playing it on my Xbox Series X, and for the most part, it runs pretty smooth. There is a little bit more load time than I would like, but it's not overly bad. I've had a couple of weird graphical glitches, from characters or animals being stuck inside walls to resources being inside the ground where I couldn't pick it up. While frustrating and annoying to experience, nothing has been game breaking in any capacity. It's never been a character I needed to interact with. It was never an item or resources I needed to complete a quest. It was always kind of surface level issues that usually leave my memory the moment I walk away from the area. Overall, the game does have a lot to enjoy, but the question is, where should Assassin's Creed Odyssey be in your backlog? Well, I think it should be in the middle of your backlog. There's a lot of enjoyment that can be had with the game. The combat, from stealth kills to fights on the open seas, can be really fun and sometimes challenging. The setting gives players the chance to explore a beautiful location, and the 100 plus hours of gameplay gives the player a ton of value. However, those 100 hours will be filled with repetition. If you're looking for a game that you can play for weeks or months in a row, then this might be the perfect fit. But if you're someone who has limited time to play games and wants to experience a wide range of games, then it'll be difficult to recommend this to you. The game's biggest flaw is what was probably considered its biggest strength while they were creating it: length. When the game feels this repetitive and the quests all feel so similar, the player starts to feel like there's a lot of unnecessary bloat. You start feeling like you're just going through the motions as you move from waypoint to waypoint, and that's never a good thing. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to hit the thumbs up, and please don't forget to subscribe as your support means the world to me. We're also roughly 50 subscribers away from hitting the monumental number of 1,000, and every new person helps us achieve this massive goal. So, thank you for being a part of this journey with me, and thanks for watching.